Alright, so today's power was terrain change. Now this is one that is similar, I would say, to another one that's teleportation. It's one that I haven't drawn yet, but it's one that's on the list, regardless. And it's generally one that's fairly interesting. Like they all are, but it's one where, I think it's fun to think about, what terrain would give only him an advantage, because there really isn't one. Because he's not like he's not like better in any scenario because of the terrain, and I think that's what makes it as interesting as it is. In the context of the story I'm writing, where because I guess the nature of his abilities, he has a problem where, okay, let's say he goes to a volcano. Well, he still has to deal with the consequences of being all like he's not going to be immune to the effects, and he's going to be just as damaged by them as the other guy. And so I think that's a very interesting concept to play off of, kind of like I would say almost like a like a monkey paw kind of bargain, where it's good and it's bad. And I think that permeates through a lot of the what should we call it, the the sorry, the series. I was mind blank, but um yeah, I chose the moon, sand dunes, a tidal wave, and then it was originally going to be at the top of a mountain, but now it kind of just looks like an island. Which again I'm fine with. I think they're all fairly visually distinct, which was, of course, that's the intention. Um, and so I don't know, the hardest one in terms of the background I had to draw was probably the ocean wave. Just because it was just, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, I don't live near the ocean. I don't look at the ocean very often, so it is just kind of weird to try to put it into perspective. Also, this hand was disjointed, and I didn't realize it until very late in the drawing process, which, tale as old as time at this point, right? I will say I didn't really have a problem with posing here, or framing the picture. That was pretty much handled at the start. Like, I was pretty much on it from the very beginning, which is no is different change of pace. Normally, I spend a lot more time trying to frame it and trying to add to it and yada yada yada. But this was very very quickly done in that stage, which I think really helped me to care a lot more about the background in this, which, as you can see, is noticeably more detailed, because it kind of has to be, because it's almost like it's almost like, if you're going to change the terrain, you have to change the background for it to make sense. So, you know, fun stuff like that, right? Generally, I don't love or hate the anatomy on this picture. Um, it's one of those things where it's just kind of meh. I feel like I could have done better. I think I could have done worse. It's just very, I'd say, almost disappointing. Just kind of, or not disappointing, but just kind of, I guess, pointing. It's just very okay, right? Um, so the only critique in terms of the more of the abstract kind of thing is, I wish I had used more of a red and orange sunset on the right half, that fourth column. Looking at the image and where it's going, I think it would have helped, because we already had two blues in the middle, and while the blue used is like, it's significantly different, I think it would have added a little bit more contrast and added a different color, which I think would have made it pop a bit more. But you know, that's future thought kind of thing. Yeah. So in terms of the rest of the drawing, I think I kind of messed up on his hair. His hair is supposed to kind of point out a little bit more at the bottom, and his bangs were also a little misshapen. At least the way I like to draw them. So I think that definitely came to affect the drawing later. Also, yeah, just trying to learn how to draw waves, and how exactly you do that. Sorry. You can see that coming to affect the drawing. Here, I was trying 1,000 different blues and trying 1,000 things. I was looking at reference images. I mean, it was tough, and I realized that my style of like kind of putting like trying to color in a manga panel, it doesn't it does I don't know, it just didn't work super well with this specific thing. I don't really know why. I just like something in my brain just didn't really let me get it. Though I do generally like the final product, even if I would say I could have done a little bit more to make it feel like a wave, which is uh, which the main reason is because I messed up when I was drawing the like columns for these, like the lines. I forgot to straighten them, and so having to go back and re-straighten them meant that I had to draw more, and that was an unfortunate byproduct of me being a bit of a silly goose. So live and you learn, right? Yeah, the rest of them I don't think I had half as much of a struggle on. The sand dunes were fairly easy. It's just some hills, so just changing up the coloring on them. The moon was also fairly easy, even if the crater doesn't 100% match the perspective. The earth was kind of interesting. Just trying to put in the whites and the blues and the browns, like trying to make it feel earthy from a distance. That was a decent challenge. And then trying to find a satisfying color that wasn't more gray for this that was definitely something. One problem that I did run into while drawing this was that it is on like the line work is on three distinctively different layers, and so getting lost in the line work that happened more times than I would have liked, which I think definitely led to some fatigue while drawing, at least mentally. Yeah, I did end up kind of having to go back on a lot of the hatching on the face, just because some of it looked a little too sketchy and a little too rough. So you know, and again, I do wish I had. I don't know. I wish I had used on at least on the left side of the hair. I wish I had kind of gone back and really went to try to define it against its background. I think I could have done a better job there. And again, I don't know what it was. I think because originally I thought it was the hand placement, like the actual back of the palm, which it is technically wrong. Like your fingers aren't that big, right? Um, but I think the bigger thing that I'm now coming to realize is that I think the pose was just kind of boring, and I think that's what was getting to me. So you can see the line art problems coming in. And so I tried for it was probably a good 20 minutes here just trying to redraw it and reframe it, and eventually I did just kind of get bored and tired and switch the way I was going about doing it, which again I think it ended up working out fine. Again, I do wish I had just cut the mistake while I was doing the sketching process, rather than later in the project, just because trying to fix it when things are already colored and stuff is always annoying. But yeah, again, I also do wish I had added some more contrast on the hoodie to make it feel like it was more distinctively different from the hand, because it kind of feels like they're two, or I guess more fused into the hand. I do kind of wish I had done some shading there to make it not feel as separated. Um, but yeah, that was terrain change. Generally, this one I think looks fine. It's definitely not my favorite out of the past few. Um, I would say that Bone Shift and Psychic I think both look a lot better, though this one was I would say a different challenge. So, you know, pros and cons with each one of them. However, if you were wondering what I was rambling on about at the start of this video, please feel free to ask off in the comments if you have any questions for the series I was talking about, or what powers are on the list, or anything like that, or any if you want me to, if you have any suggestion on what I should draw, anything like that, make sure to put them in the comments down below, or just any critiques on this one that I haven't mentioned yet. So regardless, thank you for watching, and see ya.